Do you ever wonder what really happened to the people who disappear without a trace? One woman went for a run and vanished into thin air, leaving her loved ones and authorities baffled. For 38 years, her case remained a mystery until the shocking truth was finally uncovered. The world was left stunned by the horrifying revelation. In this video, we will delve into the chilling details of her disappearance and the shocking truth that has shocked the world. The disappearance of Joyce McLean, then 16 years old, when she was out jogging on a night in August 1980 in the little village of East Millinocket in Maine, sent the entire community into a state of panic. In spite of the fact that the lifeless corpse of the young girl was discovered a few days later, the authorities were unable to solve the case due to the absence of any genetic evidence or other clues, and it remained unsolved for decades. Investigation Discovery's documentary titled People Magazine Investigates Murder Among Friends recounts the gruesome killing and shows how effective police work and a little luck helped authorities move in on the offender years after the murder took place. Let's delve further into the specifics of this investigation and find out where the perpetrator of this crime is hiding out right now, shall we? How did Joyce McLean die? Joyce McLean, who was only 16 years old at the time, was a talented student who excelled in all she attempted. Joyce was an amazing soccer player and an outstanding musician in the school band, particularly on the saxophone. She was about to enter her junior year of high school. In addition to this, she had a very humble demeanor and enjoyed making people happy wherever she went. It is extremely difficult to come to terms with the unexpected death of a person with such a pure soul. Yet Joyce continues to live on in the memories of those who were close to her even to this day. Joyce made the decision to go for an evening jog on August 8th of 1980 at 7:10 o'clock after spending the entirety of the day with friends and family. As a result, she left her house for the first time at that time. But much to her parents' worry and anxiety, she never returned home and seemed to have simply gone into thin air. The hours that followed were agonizing for Joyce's loved ones as they scoured the area in a frenzied attempt to locate the missing teenager. At the same time the enormous group were scouting the surrounding areas, local law enforcement authorities and other volunteers participated in the hunt for the missing person. On the other hand, there was no trace of Joyce whatsoever, which gave the impression that things were going from bad to worse. Joyce's dead body was found in a clearing behind her high school a couple of days after the adolescent went missing. She was only half clothed when they found her, and she had a portion of her head caved in as a result of blunt force trauma. Unfortunately, the previous night's severe rains seemed to have washed away the majority of the evidence, whether it be forensic or otherwise, since the authorities were unable to get even a single lead despite performing an in-depth autopsy on the victim. Who killed Joyce McLean? Since the beginning of the investigation, Fournier was considered a suspect. Within a few hours of McLean's death, Fournier, who was 19 at the time and intoxicated from drinking whiskey the night before, stole an oil truck and subsequently crashed it. He sustained a severe brain injury that caused him to fall into a coma and also caused damage to his memory, a fact that Fournier's defense came to rely on during the trial, casting doubt on whether his memories and confessions were true accounts or fabrications caused by an injured brain. He also confessed to the crime, but the jury was not able to determine whether or not his confessions were genuine. In spite of the fact that he was reported to have confessed to at least 3 people prior to his arrest, including his parents and his pastor, Fournier was able to cast sufficient doubt on the circumstances of his involvement to avoid being charged with any crime. Fournier was interviewed by the police 22 times before he was arrested. During the course of the years, he told various people at various times that he had struck McLean with a glass or ceramic power line insulator and that he stumbled upon her body in the darkness, but that he did not kill her. He claimed that he did not kill her because he found her body by accident, but after giving information to other people that only the killer could have known, he still managed to avoid conviction for the crime. The original evidence, in addition to additional forensic testing, witness interviews, and searches of the crime scene, provided the grounds for ultimately arresting Fournier in March of 2016, according to the Maine State Police. Justice Murray stated that she had placed a great deal of credibility in the witness testimony of John DeRoche, who was a janitorial supervisor at Hudson University in Bangor when Fournier was hired as one of DeRoche's employees in 1989, which was 9 years after the killing. After meeting Fournier, DeRoche learned that Fournier was originally from East Millinocket. Murray reported that DeRoche had asked him whether he knew anything about McLean. Within minutes of the two men meeting, Fournier informed DeRoche that he knew everything about the murder, that he was the one who killed her, and that he had not been arrested because he beat the more than 20 police interviews that had been conducted on him in connection with the investigation. DeRoche came out after state police arrested Fournier, presenting another instance in which Fournier's boasting about the murder did not result in prosecution. The defense. Fournier's attorney, Jeffrey M. Silverstein, stated that his client is disappointed and upset with the finding of guilt and that they are exploring options for appealing, which will first require a close reading of Murray's decision. Following the hearing at 9:30 in the morning, the written decision was not immediately made public. Silverstein stated that the decision to charge Fournier, as well as the subsequent verdict that found him guilty of the murder, stood in stark contrast to the previous 35 years of police activity, during which Fournier was never arrested or charged with the crime. We want to take a close look at that and analyze that in the context of a new trial, Silverstein said. We need to take a close look at her decision because while it seemed to be well-reasoned and conceived, there also seemed to be pointed in conflict with one another. The suffering that McLean's family and the little East Millinocket village, where the murder took place, have been going through for almost 38 years, has finally come to an end thanks to the trial, which was held without a jury. On August 8th of 1980, at about 7:30 p.m., Joyce McLean was last seen jogging before she vanished. Her body was discovered 2 days later behind the Schenck High School soccer grounds in a wooded location close to a line of power lines. Where is Philip Scott Fournier now? Philip Scott Fournier was adamant about his innocence once he was arrested and brought before the court. He argued that he had nothing to do with the murder and that he had been falsely accused. Although the prosecution based their case primarily on Fournier's numerous confessions and even brought John DeRoche on as a witness, the defense argued that the defendant's memory could have been clouded due to the car crash. In the end, the jury decided to stand with the prosecution and came to the conclusion that Philip Scott Fournier was guilty of the charges against him. As a consequence of this, he received a sentence of 45 years in jail in the year 2018. Since then, Fournier has attempted to appeal his conviction. However, each of those attempts has been denied or rejected. As a result, Philip Scott Fournier is still behind bars at the Maine State Prison in Warren, located in the state of Maine. Thank you for watching. We really hope you found this video informative. Don't forget to like and share this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.